We've seen Eerie and 3DB both on this channel before. Eerie, we saw him, I believe it was against Kelazor, where he failed to shut down a tech rush from his opponent, and he was playing Mongols in that game. So let's see how he does as Mongols in a game against the Delhi. Delhi being manned by 3DB, 3DB showing himself to be quite the formidable warrior, not only on China, but also on the Delhi. Mainly whenever there is water involved with that later Civ. And there is this time around. And I am looking forward to seeing if Eerie is able to deal with 3DB. Because I have a running theory that is going to get confirmed with this one, hopefully. Which is that actually Delhi are kind of broken against Mongols with their opening. The reason is this straight away, folks. He's going to move out and scout the area, and I expect him to be running a villager out soon. He does go for the double scout, and then I want to see him move out onto the water as soon as. Because the whole concept is that you basically get your initial wood as the Delhi, and then once you have that initial wood, you build a dock, knowing your opponent themselves will not build a dock straight away. And the reason is because Mongol players... The biggest bait of all in the matchup versus Delhi for them is exactly this. It's the Uvu, right? The stone outcropping, which I'm expecting Eerie to build onto soon. I think he's scouted out. He'll see that that's the closest one. He could go for this one for a forward kind of aggressive maneuver. But you can already see the docks going down. So 3DB has it on lock. He understands what his opening is, immediately gets enough, not only for the dock, but as soon as it's complete, he's already producing one of these fishing boats. Meanwhile, on the other side, this is better. Yes, Eerie. Yes. This is so important, guys. The bait that always occurs for Mongol players that I was trying to get into that makes it such a disadvantageous matchup is they always, always, always choose to build the Uvu because you can't get stoned up any other way, right? And also it gives you that early aggression. But clearly, Eerie has been watching his replays. He's been getting the feel for it. And he understands that when you are matched up against Delhi, you absolutely, positively must get a dock straight away and then rush for that tech up. The reason being is by the time that 3DB has 4 or 5 of these fishing boats, he can run them upriver, harass you, kill you before you complete the dock. But because the dock is already complete, he cannot actually get in position and kill your workers as they try to construct a dock. It's such a big difference, and it matters. It makes the world. Sacrifice that early stone gain, or sacrifice the game. That is genuinely my way of summing up Mongol versus Delhi with any water component to the map right now, where you actually cross each other, right? So if you're talking about one with a river through the center, if you're talking like Danube, if you're talking Confluence, right? These maps all require that you immediately place a dock. So I'm happy he done that. It means we're actually going to get a game instead of just having what feels like a kind of stompy, perfected opening, which 3DB, to his credit, plays like a master, but still feels stompy. Drunk villager right now. I'm not sure what this villager's purpose exactly is, other than death. If he runs it over to the fishing ships can protect against the Khan. But it doesn't really look like he's paying attention to it. Scout in the meantime. They could actually just get rid of this worker. The problem Eerie now has is he only put one person on the gold line, and the Gur is really far away and unprotected, right? So now 3DB, his pivot should be, okay, like, you on the water, I see that. I actually don't care as long as I keep you off the gold, right? And if he delays that tech timing and he gets his own, then this game gets quite scary for Eerie. And, yeah, another dot going down. So that was what he's trying for. It just seemed like he had it on auto-click. I don't know why, but he does now know about these fishing boats. I don't expect him to run his own fleet up there until he has a tech-up situation. Really, he needs to keep the scouts nearby to prevent the gathering on the gold vein. I think he was maybe paranoid that Eerie was going to build a Rax or something, but you just were in his base, right? You know he doesn't have that. Of course, you know, if you're talking enough villages, they will kill off the scouts, but I think 2 scouts alone will kill 1 or 2 villages and stunt the growth of Eerie in the early game, so it's worth sacrificing. Instead, you're doing this for the scouts, right? Chasing a target you can never attain. We're all guilty of doing that in life, but yeah, not an advisable choice. So here we go. He does move them up. I like this move. 3DB, he got the required amount, right? Right? No? Where's he spending this food? He should have more food than this. Actually, where is his food? I mean, I know he doesn't have enough gold, but like, where's his food as well? I feel like his food is limited for the amount of fishing ships he already had out. Obviously, it's the delay on getting the value, but the problem is that now he's prioritizing shutting his opponent down, but he has this issue of like not actually having his own tech up ready, right? So it's cool that he stunted the growth here and actually can snipe out some of these fishing boats because they moved away from the safety. And now with the new dock going down, this will actually work out reasonably well for 3DB. He'll still be able to gather. But because his opponent's about to tech up, he can immediately go into the junk ships. And we've talked about how powerful those are before. Like, they were sleeper pick for a while, but Mongols on water is actually incredibly scary. So yeah. Eerie just going to drag 3DB's fleet away, wasted time a little bit. Tech up is almost complete. 8 people working on the Deer Stone won't take long. And 3DB just slow on this opening. Only getting the gold mine down now. So, going to be very delayed getting up to that Tech 2. And actually, right now, 3DB, they go to a minute currently. Plenty of wood coming in. He'll keep producing the fleet. But you just need so many fishing ships to now keep up with what's about to come your way. Because immediately the light junk does get queued up. And this is where it becomes Spook Town for 3DB. He needs to get a quick tech up. It might be heavy investing a lot of workers into just speeding the tech up as well. So fishing boats did go in hot pursuit on the Mongol fishing vessels all the way down the river. That draws them away. And the attacks out of these fishing boats, 7 damage, not bad, but it's quite pathetic against 1500 health with 15 range resistance, right? And that means double light junk is easily achievable. Now, the important detail to keep in mind is he did build this dock here. So he will have home field healing. And if he actually manually... Yeah, there we go. He's microing to repair. If he can keep repairing, he can actually sink the light junks. He cannot let Eerie reach 2, maybe even 3, right? I think if Eerie ever reaches 3 light junks, you're done. So there you go. Forces the fishing boats to trade out. Goes straight onto the light junk. And 3DB is looking quite powerful right now. With only 1 dock, Eerie is in a lot of trouble. This opening from Delhi is once again proving just so overwhelming. And now he can easily manually heal these up and then look to snipe out the other light junk. And you're just going to keep treating out light junks. Unless you can get a second dock, this is going to be a problem you aren't going to solve. So yeah, they'll just stay here, heal up. You can go for a land advantage now, right? You have to assume that 3DB is putting everything on the water. But because you're matching him in that regard, you're never getting out. And also, one of your crossings is already covered, right? The fishing boats are here. And the scouts are moving in. If anything, I'd love to see this scout move over here. So if your opponent does get aggressive on land, you have the heads up and you can block him off at the crossings. Yeah, 16 fishing boats. I just don't know if Eerie's... If it's even worth bothering the light junks now. We did pull one away, actually. So to his credit, he might be able to just burst these down now. Repairs are coming out. He's going to bank them. The efficiency play by 3DB, so on point, and the light junks are just going to get sunk. One by one they go in, and one by one Eerie's go down. And he's just going to lose them again. And he cancels it. Good move. Eerie has to understand this is done. This is a done deal. You're not going to win on the water now. So you need to find a land presence, so you need to find it quick, right? Eerie currently sitting at 26 eco. 3DB now up at 43, courtesy of having 18 fishing ships. And once he's removed from the water, it's going to be problematic to get off this island. Because what you can do, 3DB could now just begin to focus on teching up. He's got plenty of gold to work with, for example. In fact, 3DB could actually go for a 1-2 tap where he just rushes feudal into castle at this rate. But really the most important detail is he needs to get across with this. This is the problem. I was about to say he needs to actually patrol, and he's patrolling. So he spots it out. He sees the dock. He hasn't finished this one yet, though. So his opponent is once again going to get on the water. And 3DB needs to complete that tech up. And he is beginning it now. Dome of Faith, 4 people working on it because he doesn't want to sacrifice the wood income. He could drag these people across from the goal line, but he wants to have surplus to produce out of these multiple docks into the dhows. But yeah, that dock's on fire, so now he'll move the fleet down. And now he's just looking to cut off these docks. And I wouldn't be surprised if, yeah, we saw it from Eerie. He's trying to actually put down another dock, but the scouts do snipe him out, and that villager will be brought to an end. But he's sending more villagers out. The problem is this is now scouted, so I don't know if you can even complete it. We'll see. 3DB, he doesn't see everything we do, right? So Eerie parks it right next to the sacred site. And I don't know if this is going to be scouted. You've already spotted this down here. Surely you move north. He's going north right now, but it is 2 villages. You maybe snipe 1. I don't know if you'll get both of them. Yeah, 2 docks is ambitious here. I don't think that's going to happen. But definitely we'll get the 1. Should end up losing the villages. So this is permanent eco damage, remember. He hasn't got fishing fleets. He hasn't got workers. He's suffering in that regard. He has at least got 1 light junk out, but he needs to reach that 3 or 4 number we talked about. And with another dock soon to come from 3DB, this becomes quite scary for Eerie. Because his opponent is about to hit the tech up. In fact, we're about to see it very shortly. So, cancel the dock in the north. Fishing fleet will move across here. They'll even start gathering from the fishing locations, so it's not wasted effort. And then once they're done here, right, it's going to be 20 ships dropping off 40 food each, having also sunk the dock. So Eerie, despite his best efforts, struggling, once again trying to get on the water. This is just non-stop. Even just panic clicking as many times as possible. He sends out 7 workers this time. Eerie, this is so much eco damage if it fails again. To him. And 3DB now starting to build into the Dows, right? He doesn't need more fishing ships. He's got 20 of them. So Dow's coming out from multiples. Third one going down. Dow's right up the wazoo, basically. He's hiding this one light junk, prevents any more scouts from coming out. But he has a problem. The fishing ships, they've scouted him again. Uh-oh. And they're looking to snipe the Villies. So Villies trying to move away. Ooh, but these two are going to be sacrificed. Double dock is down, though. The problem is the fishing fleet is going to move north soon. Once it's finished with this dock, and with the archer ships now coming out, he'll be able to push you off the water in the north, which means the Eerie is going to teeter-totter to the west again, this time being scouted out. And that means he might lose more villages. This is so well played by 3DB. He's just completely strangling his opponent out of the map. And you can already see an outpost being attempted to be constructed by Eerie over here. He needs to guard this expansion and get an additional dock. He's all in on the water because he understands this will not be decided by land at all. So drop off there. Huge influx for 3DB. And now he'll probably go on the offensive. He didn't finish this dock, though. This is actually a big mistake. There's going to be a flanking fleet that could actually pinch him. In the meantime, Dow ship's going to move up, sees the light junks. And these light junks favorably trade out against the Dows. He goes for the villages, though. That's the perma damage. That's what he needs. He understands his opponent doesn't have any economy of water, which means he has only one building in existence that actually brings him these resource generating units, right? So every time you snipe one at this stage of the game, it's a huge hit to Eerie's economy. That's being matched by the light junk production. Fishing boats moving in. Just trying to keep that outpost, preventing it from being complete. That was slowly starting to retreat, and it looks like outpost is going to go down. He needs to amass a force and push in. The problem is now this flanking attack, right? He has to worry about this, but 2 light junks is not enough against 23 fishing boats, as we're seeing. And in fact, one of them, oof, barely getting away. Production continues. If anything needs this third dock down, that'll give him the leverage to just push through light junks. I just don't know if he has the eco to support 3 of them long term, but getting that initial quantity, I think Eerie's safe with 3 docks. I mean, it's 4, right? He's still got this back dock as well. Meanwhile, more I want to say arrow ships. I just want to double check that. Yeah, archer ships, but I just call them arrow ships. I think arrow ships are safe because obviously the second one's called attack ships. But yes, more of these archer ships are going to be produced. But at what point are you comfortable going in? You're just being matched piece for piece. Unless you bring the fishing fleet again, you're not going to outnumber your opponent. And that's really my chief concern right now. Forced to fight under his own dock. Garrison's 2 in, backs the rest away. He might need to pull the fishing fleet again. This is what gives him the edge each time, but he's not bringing them in. Remember, from his perspective, he just wants to match with the Dows, because if he ever has to use the archer ships, every one sunk has to be replaced, and that takes 25 seconds. There you go, archer ships exposed. One's going to be sunk, wrap around the back, trying to pinch them. But outnumbered, this light junk might just be sunk on the retreat. Works out to Eerie's advantage, but now the archers being supported by the fishing boats pushing in. He just wants to get him off the water again. He understands that he's better off eco-wise. Look at the food surplus right now for 3DB. 1,600, in fact. So all that matters is that he denies his opponent on the water entirely. And Eerie, despite all this effort into the docks, hasn't had a chance to build a single fishing boat because he has to keep producing archer ships. Problems for him. And the only limitation for 3DB in these spaces is, of course, getting on top of your opponents, having all these ships attack, right? Because it's such a tight area to move through. And that's where Eerie kind of has the edge, right? These light junks, very mobile 1.87 movement speed, and just able to just fire on the go. So whenever they have to retreat, they're only engaging with the front line, which means they're trading equally or better. And tech up now available. And this is where we might just end up GGing out Eerie. Eerie completely locked into feudal, never had a chance to actually tech up. Tech up now underway for 3DB. 10 people working on it. He understands how important it is to just reach the attack bagler. Once he has the bagler ships, these attack ships will just destroy through the fleet of the Mongols. And at that stage, it might just tap out Eerie because you'll have nothing left to work with. right? That's as it kind of figure the same way as France when you play in Confluence, right? They get early hulks, they lock you on your island. That's why when you play against France, you need to move on to a second island quickly. Well, Eri's never had a chance to do that. So the moment he gets boxed into this one island, it's going to be 1/4 of the map versus 3/4. And he's already lost so many early resources in trying to get this fleet out that if he loses this fleet now, it's just put him, you know, miles behind. He'll already be technology behind. He'll feel like he's a whole game behind, though. And that's the problem. So he'll move in now. He has to feel like this is coming as well, right? Like, with this fishing fleet working for so long, he has to know. And there's the confirmation, right? Up into the Castle Age. Switch over into the explosive dhows. Doesn't even care about the bagglers yet. He wants to get rid of this giant clump of ships. Might be problematic, remember? Light junks can fire on the go, even when retreating. And they are meant to be the direct counter to the demo ships. They get the bonus damage, in fact. In fact, they double the damage. So, forced to engage now. Here comes the fishing boats, though. If he gets him around the back, he's going to be trapped. But 3DB just hitting him from the side. Moves forward now. Yes, this is the cutoff. If you get behind him, he cannot retreat. And that means Eri is all in and probably done. And he understands he has to go now, right? The Castle Age is already ticked. He knows big booms are coming out soon. And here's the first one. Explosive down moving in. Forced out the retreat. Able to retreat quick enough, but so many casualties here. Explosive Dow actually retracted away, although it could have easily detonated. And he's just trying to bait him in. But it doesn't matter, because now you have the numbers to push, right? Amass more explosive Dows. Misclick there as a trade ship is accidentally being built by 3DB. He's getting a little bit excited. But he still has the fishing fleet advantage. And now with the tech, there's just no way to match. Even though you have 4 docks compared to the, well, 5 docks compared to the 2, it's enough to force out the GG. He knows when he's beat. He was on the timer. As soon as the Castle Age hit, he needed to strike hard. Not able to do so. And once again, 3DB presenting to us just how powerful Delhi can be, especially against Mongols with this potent opening. And this was when a Mongol player done the right thing. Folks, go try it in your games. I guarantee you're going to win more than you lose.